Hey everybody, it's Professor Malad. I want to talk to you a little bit about finding sources. So, as you've been reading in your book, um, it's okay to use Google and Wikipedia to find sources, but please, for goodness sake, do not use Google or Wikipedia as a source, okay? Um, yeah, they're great, and we all turn to Google and we all take a look at Wikipedia, but those are jumping off places. They're not just, they're not a database per se. It's more of a search engine, and it doesn't filter things, especially when you're trying to write academically. So there are a few things you can do. So one of them is, it's okay, as I said before, and the book says, it's okay to start your search in Google. However, there is a website called Google Scholar. It's scholar.google.com, and this will take you to more scholarly academic sources. So let's type in, I don't know, criminal justice reform. There's a good one. So I type in criminal justice reform, and it takes me to a whole bunch of scholarly articles. And I can even sort by date so that the most recent is up front. I can choose, I can make a custom range, or I can choose articles that have been written since 2017. Here's one that looks really interesting. COVID-19 exposes the need for progressive criminal justice reform. Now, the thing is, sometimes these don't take you to the full article. This one does. It goes to a web page. And this one does because it opens a PDF at Colorado State. And this one does because it opens up a PDF at Boston College. I believe that's what BC stands for. But some of these, you may have to try to access them another way. But this is a good way to start. So this takes you to the abstract, and the abstract can be helpful in seeing if an article is right for you. I do want to call to your attention. So sometimes they'll have a download or full text available. So let's see, if we click on download, will we actually be able to get, no, see, now they're prompting me to pay money for these articles, right? I'm not going to pay money. Sorry. I don't make that much money. Look at this. I mean, it's ridiculous. $32 for a 7-day access to this article online? I don't think so. And don't you ever pay for an article. It's not that important. I have to stress that to you. It's not that important to have to pay for it. You can always find other articles that are more easily accessed and don't cost you a thing. So that's Google Scholar. As you can see, I only came up on this first page. There were only two that took me to an article with a paywall, an article that's behind a paywall. So that is one thing you can do. The other thing you can do, and you'll see this in the source evaluation worksheet. It says quiz, but it's a worksheet. I have this embedded library search. I don't know, what would you call it? A widget, a thingy-majigger? It's for Academic Search Complete. So when you click on this, and you have instructions here, but when you click on this link, if you're not already logged in, you'll be prompted to sign on with your credentials. So you do that and you sign in. It'll take you to this page. Just I'm doing this so you can see what it looks like. And then it takes you to this Academic Search Complete. I sometimes refer to it as EBSCOhost. But then let's type in criminal justice reform again, right? reform. And let's see if we can find that one particular. So what was the one? The politics, promise, and peril of criminal justice reform. Blah, 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 right? Let's see if we can find it. It was, well, let's go all the way to 2017. So you can use this slider here to adjust your dates, or you can type it in, either way. Let's look at scholarly peer-reviewed journals. And academic journals. So there's a whole bunch of things over here on the right-hand side where you can just weed out things. Anyway, we'll just take, let's see, academic journal, it has a PDF. Let's just click on one of these, okay? So the neat thing about Academic Search Complete, besides giving you the abstract and giving you access to a text that might otherwise have cost you money, you always look for the either an HTML or the PDF full text link, and then you can open up the article. I'll show you that. But we'll just wait for a minute to download. But so you can download the article, or it'll open up for you, and then you can save it to your computer if you want to read it later. You can also save it in a folder over here or email it to yourself, and I'll show you those things in just a moment once this opens up for us. So there's the article, and pages 2 to 56. So this article is, well, it's super long. It's the introduction to a text, apparently. So it's super long. Not anything I want to read, but look at the number of citations in the footnotes here. I would say probably half of those 50 some odd pages are taken up by footnotes. Anyway, so that's how you open up a thing. So then if you look over here on the right-hand side under tools, you can add it to a folder. You could print it if you wanted to. You can email it to yourself, and that's pretty neat. You would have to put your things in there at ucmail.uc.edu. So if you're ever needing to email me, make sure you spell my last name correctly. It's 1 L, 2 T's, MALOTTVJ@ucmail.uc.edu. Sending an email to myself. So you can choose the citation format. You have to scroll down to MLA8th and then send it to yourself. You can do that. Awesome. Or save it, what have you, right? It's going to prompt you to save. Again, you can choose your citation format, save, right? But then there's this cool cite thing too. So when you get to the point where you have to do your works cited page, again, don't take the first cite thing. If you click on the cite button and you actually use the article and you're actually citing from it, you'll have to scroll down to where it says MLA 8th, and then you just copy and paste into your document. It already has the citation already, it's completely correct according to the MLA guidelines. It's formatted correctly, everything, nothing needs to be changed. Sometimes they're in there incorrectly and you'll have to go in and fix things, but typically they're pretty good. So if you just copy, highlight, copy and paste, then you have your citation all ready for you for your works cited page. So that's EBSCOhost or Academic Search Complete. Again, you'll be able to access that through this embedded thingamabob that's in the source evaluation worksheet. So you can actually access the library that way instead of just Googling. But Googling is okay. I mean, it's a way to start, right? If we just went to regular old Google, let's go to regular old Google and type in criminal justice reform, we're going to get a very different yield. It's going to take you to places like Equal Justice Initiative, the Southern Poverty Law Center. You may get links to news articles. You're going to get videos in there, the Sentencing Project, the New Yorker. Here we have, Wikipedia. So let's take a look at the Wikipedia entry for criminal justice reform, just for giggles. Has a state-by-state breakdown. Again, I wouldn't use Wikipedia as a source, but rather as a way of finding sources for your topic. If you come down, if you scroll down to references and you see how many references there are here, there are 87. Many of them are probably going to state resources like this one here, the state of Ohio or state of Wyoming, House Bill 0094. A lot of state things, a lot of state legal stuff. Fact sheets, that's from PBS, not necessarily scholarly, but reputable. Things that take you to JSTOR. JSTOR is a repository of academic journals. Let's just click on this for fun. And because you're a student, you should be able to access JSTOR through the UC library and be able to access. And sometimes, you know, if you just go to JSTOR itself, you can read and download, log in through your school. Let's put University, if I could type correctly. Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati, Claremont College, if you're a Claremont student. We click on that. They've not provided us. So it says they haven't provided us with a way to log in remotely. So let's just try University of Cincinnati. Okay, proceed. And it just actually, because I'm set up to have this done automatically, it's already signed me in through my UC account, and then I can download the PDF and have access through JSTOR that way. So JSTOR is another option. Again, you can usually access JSTOR. Project Muse is another one. These are all databases that have tons and tons of academic, literary, and other kinds of journals, as well as sometimes books too. So it's really pretty nifty. So that's JSTOR. What else do I need to show you? Yes, the UC library. So if you go to libraries.uc.edu/online.html, you can access the online card catalog, and we'll just do this. Type in criminal justice reform. That just is the one that we're going with right now. And it takes you to a bunch of online resources. So there's an ebook that you could look up. There are books that are in the stacks that you can go to. There are some videos, streaming videos that you can watch, all sorts of resources, a TED Talk that you could watch. And then again, you can do, you know, if you want something that's within the last 12 months, so you want to look at somebody's dissertation or their master's thesis, you could look that up, magazine article, newspaper article, journal article, what have you, all sorts of stuff that you could look for. And then you can even further narrow your resources that way. So let's take a look at what we have here. Let's not do that. No, that is what I was doing. Let's look at journal articles again. So we've weeded some stuff out, and then we have journal articles. And we may have seen some of these in the other areas where we were doing our searches on Google Scholar and the EBSCOhost. So let's see where this takes us. This is taking us to the Wiley Online Library, which probably would have cost us money to see. And so here we are, we're accessing it because we're doing that through the university. So it's really a great resource to be able to look things up through the university library. And you can do this. We have, you know, the online catalogs for Claremont and Blue Ash as well. So depending on which campus you're going to or you're associated with, you'll be able to find stuff. And of course, you always have access to the UC main campus, Langsam Library. So I think that is it as far as finding sources. If you have any questions, you can email me, and you can also email the librarians at the respective libraries. They'd be more than happy to help you locate information that you need for your writing. So it's never a bad thing to reach out and ask for help. Okay, so I hope this helps you a little bit with starting to locate your sources for this synthesis exercise, and then it'll definitely be helpful in the research unit. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.